It's a new patch, 7.41b. It's obviously trying to help balance, a lot of absolute craziest heroes that are going on right now. I was right in the middle of updating the guides for 7.41a when this hits. So let's break it down on who wins the most this patch and who are the many losers this patch. So I think one of the big changes, or one of the biggest winners this patch, is Timbersaw, probably because he was one of the biggest losers in 7.41. I mean, we can see pretty much his changes are relatively indifferent in view of what everybody else got. Now, if you look at 7.41b, they definitely gave him a little bit more scaling value compared to what his friends got in 7.41, notably Doom, Tidehunter, etc. So for Timbersaw, we can see his Whirling Death now scales a little bit better as it's maxed out, and right now Timbersaw maxes out Whirling Death first. So this is very much a good sign. Timber Chain has also been increased across the board. It's usually maxed out second, and then Chakram also doing a bit more damage. So it just goes to show there aren't that many winners this patch, and if you are a winner, it's because everybody else are losers. So yeah, not big hope for 7.41b, but one notable hope is the offlaner Timbersaw back on the board. And what's important to contextualize here is that a lot of strength heroes are showing a lot of promise in being meta this patch. Night Stalker, Lifestealer, Doom, just a lot of heroes that are kind of finding ways to kind of sustain in fights, and more important, sustain during the laning phase. So having an early jumper slash damage dealer like Timbersaw with a lot of pure damage abilities on top of stat effects or debuffs like Whirling Death means that these strength heroes both lose a lot of damage and they lose a lot of health, which makes Timbersaw especially more demanding. If only he was stronger, which hopefully he is now. So another winner is a loser again of this patch. It's Invoker. If you don't remember, in 7.41 and 7.41a, they pretty much got rid of what really made his facets really appealing, at least for Invoker players. Again, I'm not a big Invoker player, so hopefully somebody in the comments can correct me. But my understanding is that not only was the Agent of Galerin, I hope I pronounced that correctly, just giving basically the Sunstrike combo of Glipnir and Sunstrike really incredible damage, but as you leveled the hero up, points in, let's say, Exhort or Wex gave you way more value in terms of stats. Now that's no longer possible in 7.41, 7.41a, where yes, they increased the max level, but the scalability is, at least my understanding, is significantly lower. Now in the new patch for 7.41b, they didn't hide getting an extra orb level at level 20. They instead moved it over to be a little bit more early at the coming levels of 6, 12, and 18. Not like it was before, but at least that's a little more, accommodating compared to, the amount of loss that Invoker did receive, which made him drop out of the meta, at least for the most part, at the highest level. Evidently, in your pubs, you're going to get those incredible magician level players who are typing, experience levels of SAs when they invoke a variety of combo spells. But in any case, again, another loser is now a winner in the grand scheme of this patch being a lot of losers and just not a whole lot of positivity in terms of upgrades. All right, slim pickings out there in terms of winners. So I guess we'll do Chaos Knight. I mean, he won okay in 7.41. Where yes, his new innate ability is something to be considered if you really took a value of that or felt really any pertinence in the way you played. Having said that, it did give a lower cooldown in Reality Rift, at least early levels, which is nice for early kills in the lane. And then on top of that, the Chaos Strike also was a little bit better in the early levels once more. And your Phantasm, it kind of was a downgrade in 7.41 where you no longer had a passive component unless you got the Ag Scepter, and the Ag Scepter basically allows you to summon a bonus illusion when you summon any illusion. So Manta Style, your Phantasm, and then Ag Shard. And this completely shifted the way Chaos Knight was being played, where instead of going, let's say, Armlet Blink Orchid, and you would just jump somebody and just kill them with your illusions, you now went Armlet Blink. I just updated this guide. Armlet Blink, Armlet Echo Saber, Ag Shard, or Blink Ag Shard, and then Ag Scepter. And then you would use that to then basically create a mass amount of fights or a mass amount of opportunities in the mid game for team fights or straight up ganks in of themselves, knowing that you were going to be creating illusions on a consistent basis, at least through 2 of your spells. Now in the new patch 7.41b, it's a trade-off. So again, I'm really reaching deep on winners here because you know, maybe somebody will find a better hero to suggest here, but it was mostly stat changes across the board for a lot of heroes, making them slightly weaker, slightly less value. But for Chaos Knight, yes, you have a little higher cooldown in the first few levels of Phantasm, but instead of 1-2 illusions being summoned at level 1 and 2, you now automatically get 3. And 3 means higher chance of Chaos Strike, but however, it's at 50%. So this trade-off, maybe somebody can enlighten me on whether that's a true win in the end, but I thought it was one of the most notable changes with consideration of the fact that Chaos Knight definitely needed a swing in favor given his current win rate. Okay, let's talk about losers. This is way easier. Doom, one of the strongest Polstry heroes right now, can farm like a god. Midas Shard gives him just insane amount of farmability on top of the fact that his Scorched Earth gave him incredible damage. Creep Camp wipe easily, as well as the fact that it gave health regen. And then on top of that, Doom's new innate ability also gives him additional damage of level death, which gave slightly more damage on an AoE basis to anyone he targeted. And on top of that, he also still had a single point Infernal Blade, which did very well. Now they've made him a bit weaker, but still kept a lot of farmability there, right? It's a 15 point jump at the last level for Scorched Earth. Doom is now not pretty much an auto kill in the early levels. It's going to be 3 damage less. Not really enough, I would say, to really call this a significant loss. If you're a fan of Consecrated Wraps, that's been nerfed, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Other than that, I think also what's important to note is that his level 10 talent of 15% magic resistance is now 10, and on top of that, these level 15 level 20 talents have been swapped, so that free 66 damage you were dealing as physical damage is now going to be at level 20 with no additional increase in value, and that 2.5% Infernal Blade max HP, which you're not using all that much until later parts of the game, is now going to be at level 15. So your choice is at level 15 for Doom. For talents is 7% Scorched Earth movement speed, which is fine. And then at level 20, it's 66 damage or minus 10 second Doom cooldown. And I think you're still going to probably choose, I don't know, would you choose the minus 10 second Doom cooldown? You weren't before, but the 1.5% Infernal Blade max HP as damage, which was originally 2.5, was nothing to sneeze at. So yeah, definitely a downgrade across the board for Doom. I don't really think it's going to hurt him that badly. He's just going to farm up to compensate, but we'll see in the coming patches or coming meta matches of this patch. So if you've watched any other YouTuber on the internet talk about Meepo, I think you already have the gist of what makes him so strong. The shared bonuses of max health and max mana was pretty insane with the items that he liked to buy, such as Consecrated Wraps, which have been nerfed, and a variety of stat items like Scotty, etc. Basically made the hero relatively unstoppable as the game went on. Now across the board, his early game's been nerfed, where he no longer has 40 proof damage. It's now minus 1.5 second Earthbind cooldown. Okay, the proof damage has been moved over to level 15, so basically they're shifting his timing to being later in some ways, or rather moving his map presence to later, but he was already being played as pause 1. And then there's a level 20 talent ransack health still decreased from 7 to 6, which is whatever. Really what matters here is the lower lifesteal for ransack, the lower strength gain. Probably won't feel that change all that much, but I guarantee you it is a change. And then on top of that, really the divided we stand, where max health and max bonuses from items are now penalized by the number of Meepos, look like other item bonuses, and it no longer shows cooldowns of teleport scrolls. So across the board, the hero has been significantly nerfed to make him, 1, actually killable, and 2, not be able to snowball as incredibly powerfully as he could before. He went items like Sanjayasha, Consecrated Wraps, Shard, Acceptor, which are still bullshit items in my opinion, Butterfly, Scotty. So again, these stats have been significantly lowered in 7.41b, which makes Meepo probably one of the biggest losers, if not bigger loser than Doom. So another big loser, again, the offlaners have been nerfed across the board, except for your Timbersaw. So again, one of the top 3 offlaners, Tidehunter. It was Night Stalker, Doom. Tidehunter has the best offlaners. Tidehunter's now a bit weaker. I honestly don't think people will feel this, at least at their shit level like we are at. But yeah, he's got a little bit less strength. So it's a bit more killable. He's got, you know, it does a little bit less damage. So again, you're really relying on Anchor Smash to help last hit. Though again, I honestly don't think people will feel a 1 damage difference at level 1. I could be wrong. I think the real notable thing here is Leviathan's Catch, where you gain fish once every other level. So instead of getting it every level, you're now getting it every other level, which is a kind of a bummer for the hero. If you don't remember what Leviathan's Catch is that every time somebody died, or he got a kill, or every time somebody died near Tidehunter, or he got a kill, or he leveled up, he got like 3 health, 2 attack range, and 1 bonus damage block. And don't forget that the attack range for Anchor Smash, or rather the AoE of Anchor Smash, is based on your attack range as well. So there was an inherent value in getting a lot of kills with Leviathan's Catch eatery, or whatever you want to call it, eating habit. But more importantly, it meant that the attack range that you would gain from anywhere, it could be from the enchantment, though I doubt you would pick that, would basically make Anchor Smash all the more viable because your AoE would be much larger than Tidehunter's typical ability to hit people or attack people. And obviously it had damage reduction as well. So in short, yeah, Tidehunter definitely has been nerfed. Do I think this is going to be significantly affecting him? Personally, no, but I guess we'll see in the coming matches. All right, let's do some honorable mentions. Broodmother, yeah, she attacks a little bit faster, and she has a little bit more damage to last hit in the early at level 1, which makes her laning all the more better, which was kind of her appeal before I think it got nerfed in previous patches. So I've added Broodmother Smurf players, enjoy that. Other than that, heroes that weren't touched are probably the big winners. The heroes that were really strong last patch are still good this patch. Lifestealer was nerfed, still really good. Rubick was nerfed, still very good. Spearbreaker was nerfed, super obnoxious, no problem. I think Void Spirit got a slight change, 7.41B, but he's still kind of universally an okay pick across the board because his variable build can be whatever style is needed. Yeah, maybe not Void Spirit, but all the other heroes definitely up for grabs and still very good. Okay, let's talk about losers, of which I am one. I'm doing this at 11:30 p.m. Alchemist. Definitely lower agility. Base agility means that he's going to be needing a little bit more right-clicking power once he gets rid of his Ag Scepter addiction. One important also thing to note is that his level 10 talent is now also weaker because that +1 acid spray armor reduction had a global value of either in fights and or with your farm jungle camps. The level 15 talent also now becoming that acid spray means that it's again shifting accelerated value of acid spray for Alchemist. Any other losers? Probably a few others I can easily find here. Ember Spirit is another loser as well. Ember Spirit came back into the meta because of the Mage Slayer change, which was physical, and because it had more applicable value for Ember Spirit as opposed to other heroes. More importantly as well is that if I remember, Ember Spirit also gains a lot from the AoE approach of Shiva's Guard, which now increases your AoE, as well as the fact that it pierces BKB, even though it doesn't do health regeneration reduction anymore. In 7.41, he got a slight strength gain increase. I'm not saying this off the top of my head, I'm reading it. It's true he did lose this facet of Chain Gang, but neither here or there because Ember Spirit is still very strong, right? He did get bonus damage increase as well for Sleight Fist, which is also something that really matters. Combined with the physical bonus damage you get from Mage Slayer. Now Ember Spirit is a loser in this patch because again, Sleight Fist has an increased mana cost, so it's a little bit harder to spam it all the time. And Mage Slayer was also nerfed ever so slightly, but nerfed nonetheless, where it has less magic resistance, and on top of that, it has less health regen. So not the reasons why you're buying Mage Slayer, but it is notable to fill the time or air for this video. Probably the biggest loser, Consecrated Wraps. Any hero that bought this item is definitely feeling it. Heroes like Pudge, a big one, though he did get a buff this patch. Small buff. Necrophos was another one, obviously. Bristleback, if any Bristleback players are still alive and haven't gone extinct, you're definitely going to feel this Consecrated Wraps effect. And then the last one is Razor. I was going to make a video on this. I don't got it anymore, but Razor, because Refresher doesn't really work for like Pipe and Greaves and Crimson Guard, we saw Razor players go into Falcon Blade, Consecrated Wraps, Yasha. Oh no, was it Falcon Blade or Double Wraithband or Wraithband? I think it was Wraithband, Yasha, Consecrated Wraps into Sans and Yasha, I believe. With BKB Agshard, which is basically his facet now is Agshard, and Ag Scepter as well, with all left talents. If I remember, I just updated this build too, so it's a little fresh in my memory. In any case, so Consecrated Wraps less stats, which is obviously a big bummer. The hollow stacks are now item charges instead of a stack counter on the buff. All charges are consumed when the barrier is created, so you have to rebuild those stacks up, I guess. And then the charge restore time of hollowed is not affected by effects that reduce or modify cooldowns. This made items like Green Core all the more appealing. I wonder if it affects Refresher, but I assume it does, because modify cooldowns would mean Refresher, which was probably the last time you would buy on Razor. This is more like a bug than an actual nerf change, so to speak, because Refresher is not supposed to affect items, but because I think it was a stack counter on the buff, it was affected by Refresher. So basically, this is loophole Refresher that wasn't supposed to be a loophole at all. Then gaining max stacks requirement for the speed of buff is removed. Initial 3 charges don't provide a movement speed buff. Followed charge gain time increased from 3 to 4 seconds. So basically, when you create the Consecrated Wraps barrier, when it's first charged up to have the barrier available, it basically consumes all 3 charges, but it doesn't get the speed buff. I hope I'm correct here, because I barely got to experience this item, so I apologize. But all in all, in short, the Consecrated Wraps did get lowered in terms of its value for the stats. It fixed its loophole with Refresher Orb, and the charges had to be basically created twice, so to speak. That's my initial understanding. Maybe somebody can correct me. In any case, those are the big winners and losers for this patch. Let me know if you guys actually like this way of reading the patch notes, or you prefer to me just spend hours and hours reading it just to get, a couple people satisfied with their podcast / sleeping habit of listening to me talk nonstop.